Hey everybody. It's time for a brand new volume 3 of 30 Days of Finch Trading. And in today's video, this is part 1. This is volume 3. This is the third installment, and this is part 1. And we're going to be running the Finch on a $10,000. Well, it's a little bit more than $10,000, and I'll show you that down here in the terminal window. $10,000 account, $10,383. And what we're going to do is I'm going to run the Finch robot on this $10,000 account, and I'm going to walk you through all the reasons I'm doing it and all the ways that I'm doing it and whatnot. The first thing you have to do in order to run this is you need to get the Finch robot onto your screen. So we'll click on Navigator, and then we've got the Finch over here on the left-hand bar. If you have not already downloaded and installed the Finch robot, you need to follow the instructions in the robots course on doing that. Once we have that, we drag it over onto the screen, and we want to stop running the robot that's there right now and execute the Finch version 2.5.1. So I'll click yes, and up pops the settings window. I'll click Allow Live Trading, and then we'll go to inputs, and I'll walk through these one by one for you. We don't change the magic number. That simply distinguishes the robot trades from your discretionary trades. Candles back refers to the number of bars or candles that can make up a Knoxville divergence line. Slippage is 5. Max spread is 5. I might change that max spread to 7. First trade size is 0.01. Second trade size is 0.03. Pips to trade 2 is 70. Default no stop loss. That's fine. Profit target in dollar value format is 1.3 or $1.30. Break even is false. RSI period is 21 and momentum is 20, and change color is true. Now, once I click OK, the color of the chart's going to change. Now, what I do next is I click on Properties, Color Scheme, green on black, and then I change. And if I do that, you'll see that no matter what I do, I can't change the color. It's just not gonna work. So that's it. That's how it's gonna be. Now, what I also want to do is click on Charts, Indicators List, and I want to make sure my Knoxville divergence lines are popping up. Whoops, RSI period is 21, momentum period is 20, and everything else is fine. I'm going to change stochastic upper to 99 and stochastic lower to 1. And what this is going to do is now my charts will show Knoxville divergence lines, but will not show reversal arrows. If you don't know what a reversal arrow is, you can refer to other videos linked below in the description, or the Knoxville divergence setup course, or the YouTube playlist about using MetaTrader. In any case, this is Knoxville divergence, this line that you see on top of the candles right here. This is bearish Knoxville divergence. It's a line on top of the candles that suggests that price is going to fall after printing that line. It's not a guarantee, it's just a suggestion. In this instance right here, this is a bullish Knoxville divergence line. It's a suggestion that price will go up. It goes up a short amount, a short distance, but then only later on does it move up a little bit more. These are examples of buy trades over here and sell trades over here. The Finch robot will simply look for bullish Knoxville divergence for a buy trade and bearish Knoxville divergence for a sell trade. Most of that should be completely straightforward and really shouldn't be much of a surprise. Things get a little bit interesting, however, when we start talking about the reason for doing the experiment in the first place. So what I'd like to do is pause here and move over to a document and explain why I'm doing this experiment again and what you can do. Okay, so I'll be right back in just a moment. I think, anyway. All right, we're back. This is the document I recently wrote and is linked to below. And we can start with what is honeymoon Finch trading. Honeymoon Finch trading is a way to run the Finch robot where you, as the trader, you close out all your open positions on a regular basis, and then you keep some daily, weekly, or monthly profit each time. And the goal and purpose of a honeymoon Finch trading account is to keep your drawdown low or your open losses down. And the most important goal is to not have lots of open losses running forever. Let's use this as an example. So I'm turning on the Finch robot today on all these currency pairs, which I will show you in a moment. Let's say that the Finch robot makes $50 overnight. The current open drawdown then is $40. So let's say that I've made $50, but the current open loss is $40. I will then close all my open trades and retain $10 in profit for the day. And then the robot can open up trades on all pairs again. The reason this is effective, for me anyway, is because I can keep closing out open trades, keep my drawdown low, and keep the Finch robot running all the time. The most important thing the Finch robot can do is run on as many currency pairs as possible. Now, inside of this document, you can see frequently asked questions. What version of the Finch is best to use? I like using 2.5.1, but you can also use other versions of the Finch robot, which are available to you in your robots course. Once again, linked below. You should use a VPS. That's a virtual private server that keeps everything running all the time. What kind of schedule am I going to follow for this type of trading? Well, it's already 8:44 Central U.S. time and 9:44 in the morning Eastern U.S. time. One of the first things I do when I wake up in the morning at about 6 o'clock Central U.S. time is I check the robot. But as long as I'm checking it every morning before 8 a.m. Eastern U.S. or New York time, that's fine. So I'll check it every day at that time, and generally I will not check it again. It's important if you want to run all the currency pairs possible on this strategy that you should have at least $5,000 in your trading account. You can trade any currency pairs that you like, but I recommend a list at the end of this document. What are the best settings for the robot? We've already talked about the settings I'm going to use in this video. And what happens if the robot gets stuck in bad trades? So what happens if I've got this strategy where I'm supposed to close my trades every day, but something goes wrong and I've made no profit overnight, or I've made a profit, but the open losses are much greater than my profit? Well, then when that does happen, I use a standard trifecta trade, a discretionary trade to help me get out of the bad trades. And when I take an extra trade, here's what I do. Let me share with you what I do, and you're going to see me do this over the course of the next 30 days. You'll watch me do this. When I take an extra trade, here's the process I use. I turn the robot off on the currency pair in question by going into the settings of the robot on that pair, choosing the common tab, and unchecking allow live trading. So I would go into expert advisors, properties, common, and I would uncheck allow live trading. That's what I would do. That's the first step I would take. Then I, according to the trifecta trading principles, which are described elsewhere, and which I will show you over the course of the next 30 days as I'm trading this, I then take another trade. I then set a profit target on all the open trades for that pair, and I choose a level at which the trade can close at break even. Nothing won, nothing lost, and then I get set up and running again. Here's the currency pairs that I trade. I trade almost everything, as you can see here, but I do not trade the euro US dollar, and I do not trade any Japanese yen currency pairs. It's fine if you want to trade the euro US or the euro Swiss. I don't care if you trade the Japanese yen. I don't. I just don't trade those pairs. Okay, that's the overview of what honeymoon Finch trading is. And now I need to make sure that everything is up and running. I've got my chart set up exactly the way that I like right here. The 1 minute chart, all my settings are on and everything's turned on. What I want to do now is save this as a template. Finch 251 honeymoon finch, HF. So I name this template and save it. Then I move to the next chart in my series, right click, and choose Finch 2.5.1. Then I right click on the next chart. Whoops, I refreshed it. And I choose 2.5.1. And I'm going to go through the entire list of currencies, and I'm going to change the template. Now, some of you don't like the color changes that this has. And if you don't like the color changes, you can use Finch 2.4, and that will be perfectly fine. It won't change the color of the background of the chart. I like the color change because I can see at a glance which currency pairs have open trades and which do not. And I'm just going to move through all of these. If you want to do it a little bit more quickly, you can just right click. I tiled the windows so I don't have to cycle through them. I also like that once I change the template, I could see the background change so I know which ones have the robot and which ones do not. I'm tempted this month to trade the Japanese yen as well with this strategy because it's worked pretty well for me. But I'm going to just stay with the ones I have and trade it just the way that I do. All right, I've got everything changed by the color change. You'll notice one chart with a black background, and it's the Euro US, a 4-hour chart. Everything else is the 1-minute chart. Oops, this is the 15-minute, so we want to change that to the 1 minute. 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute, 1 minute. So everything is the 1-minute chart, and I have 1, 2, 3, 8, 13, 18 pairs. That's perfect. Now you'll notice this 4-hour chart here. This is simply the chart on which I show my daily profit, my profit info indicator. And I've included that in the download section at right. So you can just grab that and install it. And let me show you how I set up the daily info profit, whatever you want to call it. Profit info. I put a 4-hour chart that I'm not using the robot on with a black background with no grid. And then I put the profit info indicator. So magic number is -1. That's irrelevant. I did not change that. Comment filter, did not change that. Only attached symbol is set to false. That means it can aggregate and calculate the profit across all the currency pairs being traded in this account. Start date filter is 1/1/2018. So I want to just see the profit I've made for the month or for the year. This is the corner or the area of the chart that it sets inside of, and I click OK and then close. Now, if you're still not getting any calculations or you're not seeing any profit, you can go to Account History, right click, and choose All History. And sometimes that will change the numbers and show you more information. Okay, so I've included that indicator on the right side in the downloads section of this lesson. As you can see, when I did all history, it updated the amount of profit that I've made this year in this account. Okay, there we go. Now I'm going to do one last step. I'm going to click Auto Trading, and now the robot is running on 18 pairs. I can tile the windows. And as soon as a color change happens, I will see it right here, and I'll see an open trade. And we're off and running. This is volume 3, part 1 of 30 Days of Finch. And I'll see you almost every day for about the next 20 to 25 to 30 days. I'll try to finish this up. It's May, let's see what the date is. It's May 14th right now. And I'll try to run this until June 14th or 15th or so, and we'll see how we've done in this account over that period of time. Okay, we'll see you soon, everybody. Bye for now.